Good day, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode with the Real Talk with Doc and Mario. Today we have a special episode for you. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and turn on those post notifications, especially if you're finding this content being of any value in your real estate, your flip, or even your development journey.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
How you doing, Mario?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Man, it's Tuesday. Y'all better liven up in here, get some energy going, Kay.
I was about to say happy Monday, but
You pray for me this weekend, Pastor Kay?
Yeah, pray for everybody.
that extra long weekend.
Yes, for sure. Memorial Day. So what's new on your end, Doc? And then Mario, I want you to share as well. As far as projects.
It's funny, Mario's here, man. I was just giving him his flowers this morning. And yes, that's going to be mine. You see, I'm jumping the gun. But when Kay always asks words of wisdom today, I'm going to talk about giving people their flowers and how important that is. So, Kay, remember, let me write this down right here. Flowers. I'm going to talk about that this morning because people just don't understand the power behind giving people their flowers. Look at how that flow. But nevertheless, what's new is I was giving Mario his flowers this morning because this man has sent me about 5 or 6 government contracts, site evaluation appointments, and I was just really happy to see that he just dug in deep and really that's where we're going now and looking to expand our government sector of our company. So if you're in government contracts and you're looking for a great prime that's not only licensed in Maryland, DC, Virginia, and Florida, we would love to partner with you. So there's my shameless plug this morning. So yes, flowers to Mario for getting it in over the weekend and really doing some research and getting some good government contracts in front of us. So that's what's new, Kay. We are aggressively going after government contracts this summer, this season that we're in, getting ready to go into our quarter 2 of the year.
Anything more?
Well, he took what's new, but what's new for me is just continuing to learn, educate myself. Listened to an audiobook last week, Eat That Frog, highly recommended. About a 2-hour audiobook.
Look at you, man. Look at you. That's some good stuff, right? That ABCD list, man. Prioritize it.
Now I understand ABCD. I didn't understand ABCD 1, 2, 3. I was like, what is this, man? Let me simplify this. He made this too complicated. But now I understand what all that means, and how every task that's a task is the hardest thing that only you can solve, right? And the numbers are the sequence in which those things should be worked. So it all makes sense now. I understand that. When I saw that 8 months ago, I had no clue. I thought this man was just being complicated for no reason. But it makes sense. Great audiobook or book. Highly recommend it for anyone that's looking to, step up their prioritization and organization skills as far as handling tasks and completing them efficiently. So that's what's new with me, just continuing to learn, continuing to grow, got brain capacity.
Good stuff, man. That's real good stuff, Paul. Now you know you read the book. I've been telling this guy to read the book since he got here 9 months ago. So good stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So with having a real estate development company, how important is it for you two as the executive team leads and also your team to prioritize things when it comes to working with clients?
Systems. The greatest companies, and I have to say Amazon is probably one of the greatest companies in the world, not only by the revenue that it does per year, but also by the number of clients that it services on an hourly basis. I mean, worldwide, they service millions of clients. And the customers, they have customers, we have clients. And the reason why is because they have world-class sophisticated systems. I was very privileged to be an Amazon delivery service partner, which I owned a fleet of Amazon vehicles and worked for Amazon as an owner in delivering their packages. And again, just how sophisticated their systems were, and how timely they were, and how the systems could pinpoint an error just like that instantaneously. And that's critical when you're delivering any kind of service for any customer or client, to have systems of execution that are executable, in which people can be trained to execute at a high level for efficiency and to maximize the number of clients that you can serve with your great services. So in this construction company, we take that same playbook. We have to have a system for everything. If there's not a system, then a system needs to be created. Everyone needs to be trained on that system. And then everyone needs to be evaluated on how well they're executing the system. Our mantra here is we must give every client the elite construction experience. And if we're not doing that, then we're leaving that to chance for someone else to do. And that's just unacceptable. So we're very big on systems, learning those systems, executing those systems at a high level, and constantly coaching, teaching, and even mentoring people through those systems so that we all elevate as a company to deliver an elite experience for all of our clients that we serve.
Y'all have a system you wouldn't mind sharing for those who are in real estate development and have teams under them that they could potentially apply to their projects?
You can talk about our daily system and how we operate on a daily basis, beginning at 6:45 in the morning, just with our stand-up. And I'll let Mario speak more to that. Put him on the spot to see if you know our daily system.
But yeah, just our daily systems is a prime example of that. Our crew managers, that's led by our crew managers. It's very important that they get into a routine, so they have it, so they develop these habits. And that they're doing things just kind of automatically, and they don't have to really think about them. So that's really what systems do. It allows you to repeat, make things repeatable. In my engineering days, you used to have something called CMMI, right? And that was all about how well you could do something once and then repeat it over and over again, right? How well is your system defined so that you can do the same thing? And so, our daily systems are just that. We simplify them. We keep them, real simple, lean. We don't try to add any extras. And we also have checkpoints in there, right? For the guys to be able to, touch base with their management, let them know, how systems are, how projects are going throughout the day, and get feedback so they can get back on track if they're off traffic if needed. So those systems are just there to, as Doc said, for us to be able to provide an elite experience to our customers, help us keep our projects on schedule and within budget.
Okay, I just had a wonderful idea. That will make for a great YouTube video on the TeaBow Residential construction process or daily process where you're listening in on our morning stand-up call at 6:45. And then you have various videotapes from various days with Elmer at his construction site doing this stand-up, then it's his construction site doing this stand-up. Mario and I may be at a construction site evaluating the stand-up. And then you can show the, camera, the pictures that come in at 12 o'clock when people are doing their daily check-ins just before lunchtime to let us know if we're on schedule, off schedule through photos and communication. And then at the end of the day, you can show the crew managers' daily report that they have submitted by 6:05 before they leave the site, and then just listen in on our end of the day stand up, and that would be a great video just to show that in real time at real sites throughout the various construction projects that we have underway, where people can really see that becomes a very powerful thing. And keeping tabs on what's going on, communicating throughout the organization systemically and in real time where people have information to know how well we're doing and delivering that elite client experience. That'll make for a great video. You should put that on your list and let's get that going because I can see it.
The system will set you free.
The system will set you free.
Okay, so basically this stand-up is accountability throughout all parts of the company. Is that what it is in its simplest form?
To me, stand-up is about making sure we're taking care of the client.
Okay.
Right? And you can't look at that as accountability. And not just being accountable, but anticipating things that could be problematic that we're catching so that it's not problematic for the client and we keep the experience a great experience. So stand-up gives us that touch point to make sure our plan is working. We got the plan for the day. Everybody's on the same page with the plan. And did the plan change due to weather or something like that that's beyond our control that we need to pivot to put another plan in place so the client is happy.
So what are some vital roles that construction teams need to have? You talked about talking to the talking to the team, make sure everybody's on the same page. So what are those vital roles within a construction company?
Well, we have a simple 2-point roles and responsibilities chart. So starting over from the CEO to the CEGO, to the site superintendent, to the foreman, to the crew managers, to the crew members, everybody have 2 key things that they need to master and perfect and work on every single day. And in those 2 key things, at every level of our organization, whether it's management or a support team member, construction team member, they have 2 key things that they need to vitally execute in their role. And we have that spelled out and defined for everyone throughout the organization that we constantly reinforce and direct people back to in terms of how do we really become an excellent world-leading construction company and making sure every client has an elite experience.
Okay.
And some of those key roles, just to elaborate a bit for you, are our project managers. We have our site superintendent who pretty much is over all of our crews. He also does quality assurance for us and make sure that all of our jobs are completed with the highest level of quality and that we pass all the inspections.
So he just gave you 2 key points for a site superintendent right there. Right there.
And then we also have our foremen.
Well, I skipped over the project managers who work hand in hand with the site superintendent to support the foremen at the discretion and direction of the site superintendent.
So he said the project managers, our foremen, and then we have what we call our crew managers, which I mentioned earlier, who pretty much execute and run our daily operations every day. Those are the guys who are on the sites. They're managing the crew members, that the ones who execute, and some of them execute themselves because they're specialized in their various trades. But they're the first line of defense, if you will, on the sites every day, making sure the sites are and that the crews are doing what they're assigned to do for that day and at the highest level of excellence.
Okay, so does those roles differentiate between residential projects and government projects, or is it all the same?
Great question. The system is the system. Here at TeaBow, we believe that once you have a great system, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So our goal, our game is to strive to provide that same level of elite experience to the government like we do at our residential and commercial side. So minor tweaks here and there due to because of governments may require certain levels of monitoring that residential doesn't, but the system is the system.
And it's funny you ask that because a lot of people think government, commercial, residential is all different construction. Construction is the same. It's just the type of construction and the client that you serve. Like for instance, in the government, there are times that we've done or we bid on contracts for housing. I mean, it just so happened the government is the client as opposed to a homeowner. But the construction is the exact same. So our systems, once the systems are in place and every day we're looking to run a playbook for perfected execution, the only thing that changes in construction is just the client and the type of client that we have.
Okay, awesome. So what are some things that we should be looking for those who are in real estate development and work with the government? What are some things that they should be looking out for that you've learned recently as far as pertains to applying for these government contracts that you didn't know?
Them certifications are critical.
Certifications are critical. The other critical thing in the government space is just having all your financials and your bookkeeping in pristine order. If not, that's going to just kind of slow down the process and limit the size of what they call it magnitude or amount of a contract that you can bid on. So just making sure all that stuff is those T's are crossed and those I's are dotted when it comes to the financials. Because a lot of contracts require you to have a bid bond when you are submitting your bid. So, in order to qualify that, you need to pretty much apply like applying for a loan through a surety company that will validate your financials and ensure that you're capable of paying back this loan basically if you don't complete the work. And that's essentially what those bonds do. But having that stuff in order, I think, is one of the key things that I've noticed, that I've observed since diving deep and really going after government contracts.
So how do a construction company go after identifying the codes on government contracts? Like when you write out your compatibility statements, like do we all use the same codes, or is it specific to your company and business?
It depends on your specialization. Like there's something called the NACS code that have all of the different disciplines of construction coded out across the government. And before I got in the government space, one of the first things I did was did my homework, and I read probably 3 or 4 books on government contracting, the do's and don'ts of government contracting, the voluminous paperwork that's involved in government contracts that I think is designed to keep people out that just don't have the fortitude to just push through the grudgery of the paperwork. But one of the things it talked about that I remember that stood out is that sometimes primes go out the contract that's not in their wheelhouse, and they're 100% dependent on a third-party trade partner, subcontractor. And when those trade partners, subcontractors don't come through, then you're stuck on the hook with making sure that contract is fulfilled. And a lot of people get stuck like that. They get in bad predicaments because you don't control your trade partners. You don't control the subcontractors. You hope that you got a good sub. You hope that they show up. You hope that they make your project a priority. But also in the government space, the money don't flow like it does in the private sector or, the general public. Sometimes in all cases, you have to front the construction, labor, material, overhead, and wait for the government to pay you back. And sometimes that could be 35 days. I heard some people don't get paid back for as long as a year, which is crazy. I mean, I've heard these things. I'm not making this stuff up. So that means that's a year that you got to carry a $1 million contract or a $2 million contract, and it jams a lot of people up and make relationships bad because the subs are looking at you like, man, I don't care what you got going on in the government. My deal with you, I need my money, and you don't have that money, man. They get funny, and you can't blame them. So all of those things you got to be mindful of, like Mario said, having tight financials. Having tight financials will help you project cash flow, and if you, in the event that the government takes a year to pay you back, like that being worst case scenario, and I would wish that on no one because that's crazy. But dealing with the government is crazy. Look at our government right now, how crazy it is. And I'm going to leave that right there because I don't want my phone to be doing all kind of crazy stuff and money just disappear from my account. So let me just say the government is crazy, and it's even crazier right now. So you just got to make sure that you cross your T's, dot your I's, and know that you got the cash flow in the event worst case scenario that you don't get paid for a year for whatever that reason is. You can keep everybody happy. You can keep the contract going so that you don't get stuck like a lot of these stories I hear about that happens in the government space.
Awesome. So last question, pivoting just a little bit, but we're still on the topic of construction and teams. How do y'all manage materials, like when it comes to scrap materials and different things like that? There are some out there who's debating against those two things. Does it belong to the client or does it belong to the construction company when it comes to materials and different things like that?
Well, that's great. One thing we do is, in the spirit of transparency, so this is a good point, we charge clients to write proposals, and here's why. I don't like giving estimates, and clients don't like getting estimates, and then a general contractor get on a job, and they take a deposit, and they really look at the job for real for the first time, and they realize they didn't bid the job right, and they change order the client to death. That's not right. We never subscribe to that practice. We hear it all the time. So if clients, want a detailed proposal up front where they know what they're paying for penny by penny, we even show our markup. We show our profit margin. We are business. We show clients that. We charge them for that. And sometimes we charge them anywhere from $500 to $2,500 based on how big the job is, and the scale. So if it's a small bathroom, kitchen renovation job, we may only charge them $500. If it's a new build construction, a multi-million-dollar new build construction, commercial space, we charge them $2,500. And the reason why we do that is because clients can take our proposal, they really know what the construction cost is, and they can go price shopping. And we tell clients, we're not going to be the cheapest, we definitely not going to be the highest, because we don't have all the overheads that the big boys carry. So we're perfectly situated in that sweet spot. We tell them, look, you want to go get Jose down at Home Depot? Be ready to deal with Home Depot drama, because again, the cheapest is not always the cheapest. The cheapest can cost you more money than going with that well-trusted general contractor who have 5-star reviews across social media, across the internet, so you can have a peace of mind and know that you're going to get a job that's well done with the highest level of quality and the highest level of assurance that you can sleep well at night with work that's warranted and guaranteed. So when you look at all of those things, from how much a permit costs to how much we pay for the permits, whether it's DOB, whether it's Fairfax County, whether it's Prince George's County, we show all of that down to how much a dumpster costs, down to giving you cost allocation. So anything, we call it pre-drywall, the timber, the drywall, the compound, the screws, we factor that in, and whether we go over, whether we go under, the clients know that we're providing that's baked in there, that belongs to us. And then we do something that's beautiful, that most contractors don't like and they think it's unheard of. we give clients cost allocations. And in that cost allocation, say for instance, you want a tub and you want to have a budget to set and you don't know exactly what tub you want. We say, okay, what tub do you think you want? Okay, we'll give you a $2,000 cost allocation. Yesterday was Memorial Sale. We had dozens of clients going out buying stuff. And guess what? If you find that same $2,000 tub with a 50% off of $1,000, we give you $1,000 back because we had that built into your budget in the spirit of transparency. Where we're not going to take that material from you. We're not going to take that money from you. We've been transparent. We give that back to you because that is your material, and we call those post-drywall materials. So clients see up front how much they're getting for their post-drywall materials, and if they go over, now you just pay the difference. So there's no guesswork at it. There's no, I wonder how much it's going to cost me. If that same tub was $2,000, you figure you wanted a Venetian gold, Italian, precast tub that cost $10,000, and guess what? You had a $2,000 allocation. You can do the math. $2,000 from $10,000 leaves $8,000. The clients just pay that difference, and they're not limited to even the materials that they are getting for their project. So that's how we manage that, kid, in the spirit of transparency, and clients love it.
That's awesome. Anything you want to add, Mark?
No, the only thing I'll add is now if we say you're getting new hardwood floors and we have extra box of floors or extra material, we leave that with the client as well, right? So if they ding their floors or something like that and they need to replace something, that extra material is right on site. Same thing with your tile or extra paint, right? Touch up, we can always come back and do that, and that paint is right there at the client.
So I think y'all just ended the debate. It's up to the construction company, I guess.
It is. It's how the construction company choose to operate and share the spoils with their client.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we're closing out. If y'all want to leave us with anything, feel free, and then we can land the plane.
Mario, our guest.
Just have a blessed Tuesday, everyone. Don't forget it is Tuesday. Work with purpose today. Get out and hopefully the sun comes out here in DC a little bit. If not, we gonna smile and have a good time today anyway. So thanks for having me.
As I said earlier, I challenge everybody to just go out and give 3 flowers. And I'm not just talking about physical flowers you go pull from a garden, but I'm talking about verbal, positive, affirmative flowers of just thanking people for something that they need to hear that you're thankful for. So just 3 flowers. I already gave 1 flower to Mario this morning. I'm going to find 2 other people. I'm going to give Cassandra her flowers. Because Cassandra comes here every morning at 6 o'clock. Well, she does have a special, you get to leave at 2 o'clock. But nevertheless, everybody not built to start work at 6 o'clock. And she does that because she knows Doc is in the office first thing in the morning. She's here positive. She's never dragging through the door, never complaining. I'm going to give Kay her flowers as well for having that kind of mindset and understanding the dynamics of who I am to make this work, because we are seeing our social media increasing. I didn't believe in this stuff at first, but I got to subscribe to it because it is real. This is how I reach people that I've never reached. So thank y'all so very much. I just had somebody call me over the weekend from California. Julie, I'm going to be working with you, but people are calling me all the way from the West Coast on the other side of the country. So Julie called, she's going into a new build construction, saw some of our footage, just want consultation on it so she doesn't get taken advantage of. So I'm going to be working with Julie. So shout out to you, Julie. Another shout out and another flowers I want to give. I'm going to start giving flowers at least at the start of every show, because believe it or not, clients are following us. I'm going to give a shout out to my cousin's wife, Rodney, Priscilla, who is following us every coffee. She checked me because I missed the coffee with Doc Tuesday. I'm in the car running. Like, they're following this stuff. So Priscilla, I love you. It was so great spending time with you this weekend and the family. So, shout out to you. And shout out to our McLean client, Zach and Monica, who is always on top of things. I'm going to give him his flowers because he is somebody that holds people accountable, that calls us to the red carpet when things don't go as we told them from day one. And I love that with clients because that keeps us accountable. That makes us better. So give people their flowers. It's needed. It's a blessing to some people, even when you don't think so. Some people could be having a bad day, and if you just gave them those verbal flowers, it could change their entire day. So I challenge you, give 3 people today their flowers. And here's what I'm going to do. When you've done that challenge, you don't even have to tell me who the people are. Just shoot me a direct message saying that, Doc, I lived up to your challenge, and just let me know how it made you feel. Because that is what life is all about. Being a blessing to others through flowers. Flowers. Till next time, I'll see you at the next construction site.